Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again here on YouTube. Today I decided to cover the year of 2014 in TNA DVD. So that includes a custom I have in there as well. I'm going to cover all the pay-per-views, one night onlys and the main pay-per-views themselves. Yeah, 2014 was quite an interesting year because it was pretty much Eric Bischoff and Hogan were done with the company by this point, and we had most of the top talent had left. No more AJ Styles, and lots of other big names had all just left the company pretty much. Sting, I think he's just about gone by this point, or at some point this year, if I remember correctly. I try not to think about that too much, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure he goes at some point in April, maybe April, May. I can't remember because he ends up in the other company. But I don't want to go into that shit. But yeah, it's a big change. So yeah, they were pushing stars such as EC3, Magnus, brought in new talent like Tigre Uno, and MVP was half shareholder in storyline, that is, with Dixie Carter for ownership of the company or some bullshit like that. I can't remember now. But yeah. So without further ado, let's cover January first. So January had aired, even though these ones were pre-recorded, we had first up One Night Only's Tag Team Tournament, which we had Kazarian, Daniels, Magnus, Samoa Joe, Aces and Eights members Devon and Buddy Ray, Bobby Roode and Austin Aries. There's the spine, and here's the back. So yeah, this one night 10 team tournament, wow, that's a tongue twister, guys, determines who is the greatest tag team in TNA history, featuring Team 3D, Daniels and Kazarian, Generation Me, Samoa Joe and Magnus, Bobby Roode and Austin Aries, and many more. This is the ultimate test of endurance to see who the greatest tag team in TNA history truly is. TNA Wrestling presents One Night Only Tag Team Tournament. So these were quite fun, these One Night Onlys, because they were always they always had like some kind of different theme to them. So in this case, this was a tag team tournament, as the name suggests. Teams such as Generation Me, Aces and Eights, and all those other teams there. Various matches. I can't remember who wins this one. I haven't watched it for a while. I'm not opening this copy of it. I did have it saved on my old Freeview box, but I'll probably look to get a custom copy of it at some point and rewatch it. But from what I remember of it, it wasn't a bad show, but it is what it is. And a while back, I noticed a gap in my 2014 collection. So I contacted my kind friend, Chad Stone, and I inquired about filling that gap with the TNA DVD I needed, which never got a release officially. So I got it custom made. So we have a Hardcore Justice 3, which was also aired in January, in late January, this one was, of 2014. I like the artwork he's done for this. It's pretty cool. Makes it look almost official. So this Hardcore Justice 3 had EC3 take on Tommy Dreamer, Austin Aries against Chris Sabin, Bobby Roode versus Samoa Joe, Velvet Sky versus Lady Tapa, Joseph Park and Eric Young versus Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, Buddy Ray versus Mr. Anderson, Team Angle versus Bobby Roode. Team Roode. And watching this one for the first time, I must say I did enjoy it. Very good. Very good for what it was. Not as good as the original Hardcore Justice, and probably not as good as the second Hardcore Justice. It comes close to it though. I did enjoy the second one. That was pretty cool. Back from 2013, that is. And next up, we have February. One Night Only's hashtag Old School. So then TNA champion Magnus took on challenger Samoa Joe. We also had Kurt Angle, Mr. Anderson, Bully Ray, and Tommy Dreamer in matches. And I like the retro look to a very old school, early 19th century wrestling kind of advert or whatever. TNA goes old school with classic matches featuring Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, Jeff Hardy, Abyss, and more. TNA Wrestling presents One Night Only #Old School. Got a last man standing match between Bobby Roode and James Storm, as well as the World Championship match, which we discovered on the front cover artwork just now. Anderson against Angle. Special ref Eric Young for the match, which featured Bad Influence and Velvet Sky against Bromance and Lady Tapper. EC3 had a tough challenge on his hands as he took on Dewey Barnes. We had a freeway X Division match. Chris Sabin, Sanjay Dutt and Austin Aries. Falls Count Anywhere match between Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer. And a Monsters Ball match between Jeff Hardy and Abyss. Now, my good friend Nathan the Wrestling Guy, if you want to go check his channel out, he reviewed this about, within the last 6 months, I think. Definitely within the last year. And he gave a good review of that. Again, these one night onlys, they don't really continue on the main storylines too much. They focus on the theme of the evening, of the particular one night only evening. And yeah, this one went for the old school kind of theme, which was pretty cool. Good stuff. Yeah, so that's February, guys. Then in March, we had one of the main pay-per-views, the first of 2014, which was Lockdown. Magnus, the then TNA World Heavyweight Champion on the front. Really cool artwork. I do like that. This isn't one you see often for sale. It's been a while since I've seen this one for sale, to be honest, but it's a good one. There's the disc, in case you were wondering. And there's the back. So yeah, like I said earlier, MVP had purchased a percentage of the company, or he owned some of the company somehow. I can't remember how. I can't remember the story, to be honest. I'd like to probably go back and revisit that at some point, but it's not relevant at the moment, I don't think, anyway, for me to go and, just to check to see what MVP, the reason he did purchase, or if he did. But it doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, it set up a lethal lockdown match for Team MVP against Team Dixie. So yeah, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries and the Bromans were on Team Dixie, while Team MVP had himself, the Wolves, and Willow. We had a world title match, Samoa Joe versus Magnus. Gail Kim took on Madison Rayne in a TNA Knockouts title match. An awesome last man standing match between Cowboy James Storm and Gunner. Now, they were a tag team for the beginning of the year, and they were, from what I remember, feuding over a Feast or Fired briefcase, which contained a world title shot. I think James Storm got a little bit jealous of Gunner's title opportunity, and he cost him the match after Gunner had cashed it in against Magnus, I do believe, on an episode of Impact. We have the debut in Tigre Uno, very impressive X Division superstar. I did like him, pretty cool. In a steel cage match as he took on Manic. Open challenge match, EC3 against Lashley, which was originally supposed to be EC3 against Kurt Angle, but Kurt Angle apparently got injured. I can't remember if that was storyline or real. It wasn't really a match either against Lashley. It was more of a standoff from what I remember. We had... that was good as well, sorry, by the way, with the EC3 not having a proper match with Lashley, because it protected both Lashley and the returning Lashley, should I say, at that point, and EC3, because EC3 was undefeated up till as of that pay-per-view. and probably still afterwards as well. Sorry, no, he was after as well. Sorry, guys. Escaped the cage match, the creepy Samuel Shaw, who'd been stalking Christy Hemme for the months prior to this, against Mr. Anderson. We had a steel cage match, Bad Influence and Chris Sabin against Yasu Sanada and the Great Muta. And TNA and Wrestle One had like a business partnership at this point during this year, where they would exchange talent, and they'd also put on 2 pay-per-views, which we'll cover a little later on. But yeah, that wrapped up Lockdown. Then in April's a month I'm used to having Lockdown in, so it was kind of weird having this. So we had another main pay-per-view, Sacrifice, with Willow on the front cover. Nice purple colouring for this as well. I like that pinky kind of purple. Oh, disc as well for you disc whores out there. Yeah, and we had Samuel Shaw continuing his feud with Mr. Anderson. The Wolves against the Bromans and DJC for the Tag Team Championship in a 3-on-2 handicap match. EC3 and Rockstar Spud against Kurt Angle and Willow, sorry. X Division title match, Tigre Uno versus Sanada. I Quit match between James Storm and Gunner, also continuing their rivalry. Knockout title match, Angelina Love versus Madison Rayne. A number 1 contenders match between Bobby Roode and Bully Ray. And the World Championship match between Magnus and Eric Young. And yeah, the company decided to push Eric Young and put the World Championship on him, because around the same time as this was happening in the WWE were pushing the Yes Movement with Bryan Danielson as their champion. Daniel Bryan, sorry guys. Fucking hell with these name changes. Or name swaps, should I say. Next up in May, we had Joker's Wild 2. I like the idea for this. I've spoken about it in other videos before. And it'd be cool to see something like this used as a proper pay-per-view, where the winner would get a world title shot at Bound for Glory. TNA, I hope you're listening to me. That'd be cool. Or we need something to rival the WWE's Royal Rumble with TNA. That'd be cool. Yeah, so there's $100,000 at stake here in this selected at random tag team kind of tournament. Each tag team each individual are drawn at random, like a tombola kind of thing, like a lottery machine, maybe bingo machine. You know what I mean? Tombola. And a capsule's pulled out with a name or a number in, I can't remember which. And whoever's name gets pulled out gets paired with the other person, and then the next 2 names get pulled out. That's their opponents. The winning teams go on in a 12-man gauntlet match later in the evening, and the winner obviously wins the 100 grand. Like I said, a very interesting concept for that. I do like that. In June, we were treated to another main pay-per-view, Slammiversary 12. But I wish I could say this one was more fun than what it was. This was a 2-disc set release here in the UK. 15 certificate. Got Joe, Lashley, Young, Kenny King and Austin Aries there on the front. Yeah, this one had the Texas Death Match, which was probably my favourite match of this pay-per-view between EC3 and Bully Ray. I really did enjoy that one. Mr. Anderson versus James Storm wasn't too bad either. We had a 3-way steel cage match for the World Championship, which had champion Eric, excuse me guys, which had champion Eric Young waiting on his 2 other challengers, which we'll get to in a second. The Bromance took on the Von Erichs, and one of the match participant, the main event participants would be the winner of Kenny King versus Austin Aries, and the other one was between Lashley and Samoa Joe. No disrespect to Kenny King, I just wanted to put this thought in there for a minute. Good athlete and everything else, but he just comes in out of nowhere, and he's put into a possible world title position, world title opportunity, when there's other superstars around this time that have more of a deserved chance, I do believe, like James Storm, Mr. Anderson, Willow even, maybe. And obviously Magnus as well, to get another opportunity to get it back again. But no, we get Kenny King. That's just my thought on that. Sorry, guys. Samoa Joe, Lashley, yep. So Willow and Willow was against Magnus on this. And we had a 6-man ladder match for the TNA X Division Championship. Sanada, Manic, Tigre Uno, Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, and Crazy Steve, plus some bonus features. Moving on to July, we have Global Impact Japan. Now this is interesting because this was released as an actual pay-per-view in Japan called Kaisen Outbreak. This was part 1 of a 2 pay-per-view deal I think Wrestle One had with TNA during their partnership and talent exchange of 2014. And I wasn't aware of this until I was speaking to my good friend, the 2004 Punk, a few days back, because I had asked him, have you ever heard of a pay-per-view called Kaisen Outbreak? Because without me looking at the match list of Kaisen Outbreak, I just assumed it was a Japanese-only DVD release. And because Punk being a big collector of DVDs, and I think he's got a few Japanese ones as well, I asked him if he had that one, and he said, let me have a look. And then he got back to me and he said, did you know it was released as Global Impact Japan? It's the same pay-per-view. And of course, I went and checked up the matches after that. And not that I didn't believe him, I just thought to myself, how strange. Why didn't they not list it as Global Impact Japan? But no, it is the same pay-per-view. Oddly enough. But yeah, we were treated to a lot of interesting matches. We had Kai challenge Magnus for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. We had a steel cage match from Lockdown 2014, which we'd already seen. Okay, on Lockdown. We had Austin Aries versus Sanada for the X Division Championship. The Wolves versus the Bromance versus Team 246 for the TNA Tag Team Championship. We had these 6 awesome wrestlers in a match. I cannot pronounce all of their names here next to my thumb, guys. We had Funaki against Bobby Roode. Abyss versus Takayama. Gail Kim versus Madison Rayne. And Bad Influence versus the Junior Stars. I'm looking to get the US version of this as well. Hopefully I can find that one unsealed, and then I can watch that one properly. But yeah, that would have been, in case you guys didn't know, Kaisen Outbreak. I think I pronounced that correctly, and sorry about coughing then, guys. Next we have August. X Division Extravaganza. X Division champion Sanada, who's been pushed heavily this year, and for reasons which we'll get to a little later on, against challenger Austin Aries. Now these X Division Extravaganza, they were fun little events. There's the disc for that one, guys. And EC3, another name that was just another guy that was making a name for himself, especially this year, getting a lot of eyes on him. He had his own EC3 challenge tag team ladder match. So he put Bad Influence against the Wolves, which was awesome. X Division Championship match, as we said, Aries against Sanada, the Ultimate X match. And then there was the main concept of this. So 6 men will battle the current superstars of the X Division, win and they advance to Ultimate X, lose and they are out of the run-in, plus the other matches I already mentioned. So the matches to qualify for the Ultimate X match were Chris Sabin versus Low-Key, DJZ versus Rashad Cameron, beg your pardon, Kenny King versus Rubix, Manic versus Ace Vedder, Sanjay Dutt versus Rockstar Spud, and Tigre Uno versus P.T. Williams. Very cool. Moving on to September, we had World Cup 2014. We had 4 teams made up of all the captains. We had Captain EC3, Captain Bobby Roode, Captain Kurt Angle, and Captain Eric Young. The artwork for this looks the same as the... the disc looks the same as the artwork from the front, in case you were wondering, guys. I've spoke about these World Cups before. Very fun. Again, something like this maybe used as like with the winning teams getting title shots at Bound for Glory. You know, the winning female get a Knockouts Championship match. The winning tag teams would get a tag team title shot, and the winning guy that's in the, you know, like the world title picture at the time would get the captain even get the world title shot, and then the other guy gets the X Division. I don't know. They could work something like that though. It would be cool if they could come up with like an idea like that. That's just my opinion though, guys. I'm strange like that, but I love tournaments, as I've said before as well, and you know, this was a lot of fun. It doesn't have all the match listings, but that's all the participants there. It's fun to get to see the wrestler, the captains on the front get to pick who they want on their team as well. That's always fun. Reminds me of school when I used to play soccer or football in the playground, and used to stand there hoping to get picked, and unfortunately I was always one of the last ones that got picked. So they stuck me in goal. But I wasn't really into all that much then, but this kind of reminds me of that. I don't know why. Anyway, sorry to drone on, guys. Moving on, back to this video. October, we had the second part of the pay-per-view deal with Wrestle 1 and TNA during their talent exchange partnership deal of 2014, as I already mentioned earlier. And it was Bound for Glory. Very strange Bound for Glory, this. It is always played on my mind to why it doesn't have a world title match for TNA in the main event, or I don't know. There's that, and there's just various other reasons. It's set in Japan as well, and usually set in the US. I know we had 1 or 2 in Canada, didn't we? But it doesn't matter. No, not that it's a problem. It's just this one's always the ugly sister of the Bound for Glory series. Or am I being a bit harsh? I don't mind it. I think it's a good pay-per-view, to be honest. But a lot of fans out there are probably thinking, you know, we don't talk about this enough. Maybe this should be talked about more. Maybe. Awesome artwork though. I do like it, with the Japanese kind of flag going on there in with the logo, which is cool. Yeah, the reason I was saying about Sanada being pushed so hard is because he became Great Sanada under the Great Muta's like apprenticeship, I guess. And then he turned on him, as you do, you know. You always turn on your master. We learned from that too many times, even in the movies. But yeah, this was a good, as I said, very good pay-per-view. You should check it out, guys. Definitely worth watching. Got EC3 against Ryota Hammer, the sumo wrestler. We have Manic versus former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion at the time, Tanaka. MVP is on this one as well, as he takes on Kazuya Sakamoto. Can you see it from back there, guys? Sorry. I want to hold it, but my hands keep shaking. MVP, I've already said that. What the fuck am I on about? Move on. X Division Championship match. Samoa Joe versus Low Ki versus Kaz Hayashi. I remember Kaz Hayashi very well from his WCW days as well. Got Hijo del Pantera against Hiro and Kodama. Oh, I've missed a name, sorry. Andy Wu is on Team Pantera. Tommy Dreamer and Abyss against Team 3D. Knockouts Championship on the line. Havoc against Velvet Sky. And James Storm and the Great Sanada versus Tajiri and the Great Muta. So yeah, I'm going to stop going on about it now. Just wanted to mention it one last time. So yeah, this is the second part of the 2 pay-per-view deal with Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle 1 and TNA. Sorry, I didn't mean to say Wrestle Kingdom, and I apologize if I said that earlier in the video. So that's Wrestle 1. So yeah, Global Impact Japan and Bound for Glory together as a tag team for pay-per-views. That's why Bound for Glory was a lot different this particular year. So in November, we were treated to the Knockouts Knockdown tournament. Was it a tournament? I can't remember now. I think it is, yeah. From 2014, obviously. And I've gone over this one recently, but yeah, just a quick recap. Singles matches to qualify for a Knockouts Gauntlet match at the end of the night. Those are the participants there. Excellent stuff. Worth checking out, guys. You will know more about it. Check out my Knockouts collection video. I covered that on there, I'm pretty sure. And to end the year out in December, we had One Night Only's Victory Road. 50 grand up for grabs. So TNA Home Video presents the DVD release of December 2014's Victory Road epic event from Orlando, Florida, featuring the biggest names in action as they battle to qualify for a Gauntlet Battle Royal main event for a shot at World Heavyweight Championship. This DVD features the event in its entirety. So where does 50 grand come into play then? Is that you also get 50 grand with the World Heavyweight Championship opportunity? I can't remember now. But anyway, there's the qualifying matches. Austin Aries versus Kenny King, Bram versus Davey Richards, James Storm and Kazarian against the Menagerie, Bobby Lashley versus Samoa Joe, the Bromance versus Buddy Ray and Rockstar Spud, Mr. Anderson versus Abyss, Gunner versus Magnus, EC3 against Sanada, Eddie Edwards versus DJZ versus Tigre Uno, and Samuel Shaw against Crazy Steve. The winners of all those matches go in the 12-man Battle Royal for the shot at the World Heavyweight Championship and possibly 50 grand. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that 50 grand is involved with that somehow. But yeah, guys, hope you've enjoyed this. I thought it's better to, rather than show a whole collection video as I've done earlier in the year, you don't get to see the covers and many of the discs and the matches on the DVDs either. And I like to sometimes take time out to talk about the pay-per-views as well and give my thoughts and opinions on them. If you want me to continue doing this as a series of videos, I can do a few more of the years, or I can do all of them. I just cover them all, one at a time. I could do the same with the WWE and AEW as well. Well, thank you for watching, and I'm sorry if this one felt rushed. Sorry for coughing as well throughout. Hope you've enjoyed this. Look forward to reading your comments below. You all stay safe and enjoy yourselves. Goodbye for now.